Have you ever asked yourself, why am I here? What is this world all about? What is my purpose? Well, today we're going to talk about the 7 levels of why. Now, this one exercise really helped me through my personal development journey, which started November of 2014. I had actually started August of 2014 when I hired a life coach. But November of 2014 was when I left my corporate job. I had worked in the corporate world for 36 years and I made the leap from corporate. And I didn't know what I was going to do, what my purpose was or anything. But I watched this video and it was called The 7 Levels of Why. And that really helped me. So I want to share with you today the 7 levels of why. Now, I took the 7 levels that the gentleman shared in his video and I broke it down and I really worked really hard on it. But not only that, I made some other discoveries while along that path that I'm going to share with you today. So if you are watching live today, I'd love for you to share this. If you are a person who has asked yourself, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What is this world all about? If you've ever found yourself asking those questions and you haven't found the answer, I want you to watch today and share this video out with as many people as you can, because the more of us that know our purpose, that know why we're here, we can actually live in that purpose. And what's really cool about that is, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but when we talk about, oh, I did that on accident, or sometimes we say, I did that on purpose. Really, the term on purpose means that you are living on the purpose that you are here for. So today, so my name is Linda West, and I have a company called Living Live. And what I do is I help people share their voice. If you are ready to raise your hand and be visible and put yourself out there into the world, then I'm your person to help you get there. So I help you get on stage, I help you get on videos, I help you get interviews, and I help you share your voice with the world. Maybe you want to put on a workshop. One of my clients actually wanted to do a 3-day workshop. She had been wanting to do it for years and never did it. But finally, when she signed up with me, she did it. Another client, she had a book that she had started 20 years ago and never finished it, but she finished it with me. Another one of my clients, she doubled her income last year and is on track to triple it this year. So that's just because I help them work through these things that they're working on. Okay, so I'm first of all, I want to share with you, I do have some cheat notes, because if you know me well, you know that I tend to get off track. So I have my notes here today to make sure that I don't get off track. This video should not be very long, so stick around. It's going to be awesome. Okay. So today we're going to talk about the 7 levels of why. And if you have any questions while I'm doing this video, go ahead and post them below. The video will be shared on my YouTube channel as well. And when it's put out on my YouTube channel, I understand, you guys aren't watching live, so you'll just have to, I'll ask the questions that people ask and share them with you. Cool. So the 7 levels of why. First of all, I wanted to share with you that right now, as you can see, I'm not wearing makeup. My hair is not like it normally is. And that's because I just came from the gym. And while I was driving home from the gym, I thought, oh my gosh, I need to do the video about the 7 levels of why. And I've been talking about doing it for quite a long time, telling myself I'm going to do this video for a very long time, but I haven't felt inspired, or I haven't felt in the right place. And it's what came to me today as I was driving home from the gym, as I realized that one of the things that was stopping me from doing the video is because when I was inspired to do it, I wasn't in the right place. I didn't have the right equipment. My hair wasn't done, or my makeup wasn't on and stuff like that. And I thought, this is ridiculous. If you're inspired into action to do something, just do it. Don't let the excuses like I did, like I didn't have my makeup on or whatever. Don't let that stop you. So I felt really inspired to do this video. And so I'm coming to you 100%. This is me. This is what I look like on a regular basis. When I don't have my makeup on and I don't have my hair all brushed up and stuff like that, this is what I look like. So here I am, unapologetically being me, just being 100% authentic. So yeah, I hope you're okay with that. And if not, that's okay. That's okay too. Okay, so that was one thing. Okay, what is the 7 levels of why? First of all, one of my coaches has said that the word why, WHY, stands for what hurts you. What does that mean? That means that we're tapping into something that was painful from our past. Because most of the times, not all the time, but most of the times, the reason we're doing the things we are doing now is because something from our past that really hurt us, and we want to solve that problem for ourselves and for others. So let's use an example of, I won't use one of my examples right now, but I will later. Let's use an example of, there are, oh my gosh, I'm hearing stories upon stories upon stories of young girls who were, molested by family members. I'm hearing countless stories, and it just breaks my heart. Fortunately, I was never molested when I was a child. I should say, preface that with that I remember, because I don't remember any of my childhood really, except for what my mom told me for the most part, up until age 12. Starting around age 12 is when I started living my own life outside of the house, and I started going to friends' houses and stuff like that. And so those are some of the things that I remember. So when we talk about what hurts you, now, if you were a child who was molested when you were younger, that's a very painful situation, right? But maybe what you're doing today is because of the pain you experienced in the past, and you've come out of that pain, and now you're sharing with other people how they can come out of that pain. So the why in that particular situation for you could be, and I'm not telling you what your why is, but the why for you in that situation could be that I underwent a lot of pain when I was young, and I discovered how to live a life of freedom. I discovered how to live a life that I'm happy, and I don't carry that pain into my future. I don't carry that pain into my present, and I want to share with other people how they can do it. Maybe that's your why. I don't know. But I'm going to share with you how you can figure out your why and going 7 levels. Like, what does the 7 levels mean? So first of all, it's not always 7 levels. Some of the things that were my why that I figured out, they're really only 2 or 3 levels. Some of them were 9 levels. So it's just like a premise of, it's called the 7 levels of why, and it doesn't have to be 7 levels. So how do we go from the first level down to the 7th level? Well, normally what happens is when people start doing this exercise, they will go into their head. They stay stuck in their head because I think a lot of times we don't want to experience, or we don't want to acknowledge the pain and suffering that we had in our past. But you have to get there. You have to get there. This can be very emotional for you. I know it was very emotional for me. And I was literally writing on my paper over and over and over again, the 7 levels of why, the 7 levels of why, like why. And I'll share with you how to do the exercise in a minute. But in me doing this exercise, it was so important because I got to tap into something from my past. That is the reason I do a lot of the things I do. Almost everything I do relates to one moment in my past when I was 5 years old. So remember when I said that I don't remember my past up until I'm about age 12, there is one incident when I was 5 years old that was huge. And I didn't realize how much of an impact it had on me until one day I was sitting down with Les Brown, and he was having me tell my story to him. And it was really cool because he was having me go through my story, and he asked me question after question. Well, one of the questions that came up, I'll share with you right now. Okay. So I was telling him how, when I was 5 years old, I ran away and I was gone for a week. And he was like, hold it. Stop just a minute. You ran away and you were gone for a whole week? And I said, yeah. And he said, why did you run away? And I said, well, my mom and dad, they were out there in the living room and they were fighting each other. And my dad was hitting my mom. This was like a regular occurrence for me every day or every week or so. My dad is in there, beating my mom and just yelling and just making a lot of noise. And so I ran away. He goes, no, that's not it. And I said, what do you mean? He said, you had heard that for 5 years. For some reason, that day, something was different. What was it? What was different? And I was like, oh my gosh. I do remember my little sister and I, we were huddled on the bed together, and I was protecting her. I was holding over her and protecting her. And what I realized is that by me protecting, being her protector, it put me into my future where I'm protecting people all the time. So for example, a lot of my jobs have been supporting jobs where I was protecting either other people. I was like the gatekeeper. I was the person that was the front line, and I was, protecting them. So a lot of my jobs were that way. But then see what happened differently that day. Why did I run away? That day at 5 years old, I decided I was not going to take it anymore, and I was going to run away, and I wasn't going to live that life anymore. So I ran away and I was gone for a week. People often ask me, well, where did you go to? I just ran to the neighbor's house. Okay. It was just the neighbor's house. But at 5 years old, I was gone for a week and I was at the neighbor's house. Then they asked me, well, why did you come home? It wasn't my choice to come home. And I can reframe that because yes, it was my choice because I could have run away again. But my mom called the neighbor. My mom knew I was at the neighbor's house, but I didn't know it. So my mom called the neighbors and said, okay, Linda's been gone long enough. You can send her back home. So that was the reason I went back home. If it were up to me, I would have been gone forever. Like it actually, again, it was up to me, but I chose to stay there. And probably because of fear. I was so scared of what might happen if I ran away again. Okay. So a lot of my whys, when I go down 7 levels deep, lead back to that one moment where I was huddling my sister and I was protecting her. And I'm going to share with you how you can go through the 7 levels of why. And hopefully this will give you some answers to your purpose, to why you're here. Now, here's the deal. Before you embark on this journey of discovering your why, of why you're here, once you discover your why, once you discover your purpose, it's up to you to live your life on purpose. So once I discovered that my why was because of protecting people, was because of sharing this common bond with people and protecting them, I discovered that I had to live my life that way, that I was protecting others. So I started so many different things that I'm doing right now. Like one is I help people get on stages. Actually, made some notes so that I wouldn't forget, So I help people get on stages. I help people put on events. I help them do live videos. I help them break through fears. I had so many fears. And a lot of those fears stemmed from my childhood. Again, those fears stemmed from my childhood because of my dad, the abuse. And so a lot of things I do now are because I've broken through so many fears and I'm doing them. And I just really feel happy and excited when I can share with others how they too can do the same thing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you how to do the 7 levels of why. And then I want you to make a commitment to yourself. This isn't a commitment to me. This is a commitment to yourself to discover what your why is so that you can live on purpose and discover your why. And I'll share with you before we go further, if you are having problems, if you're having troubles, you're struggling figuring out your why, go ahead and reach out to me. Go to livinglive.tv. You see it right there, livinglive.tv/30. Reach out to me and I can help you figure out your why you are here. It's such a powerful exercise. So let's get into it. Let's say, for example, I ask you the question, what do you want from life? And you say, I want to live a life of financial freedom. And then I ask you, why do you want to live a life of financial freedom? And then your answer might be, because I want to live a carefree life. And then I can ask you again, why do you want to live a carefree life? And then you can go deep and deep and deep, and you just keep asking the same question over and over and over again. But it might get down to the root, which is an example. One thing would be maybe because when we were growing up, we didn't have any money. And we were lived in scarcity. We were never able to go anywhere. We were never able to do anything. We always had the ratty clothes. We weren't sure from one month to the next month if we were going to be able to eat. So your why to have financial freedom in this example would be because I lived a poor life and I didn't have things that I wanted. And I've always wanted to have things. Whatever it is. It could be anything. It could be, always wanted to travel and I never could afford it. So that might be your particular reason for having that goal, that dream of living a life of financial freedom. That'd be an example. So another one might be, I might ask you, what do you want from your life? And you might say, I want to have my voice heard. Then I would ask you, why do you want to have your voice heard? And you might say something, because I recently discovered that I have value and I want to share it. So then the question would be, well, why is it important for you to share the value that you have? And then you would drill down and just keep asking the questions again. It might come down to, for me, for example, because mine is, one of the things that I do is I love to share with people, share value. I love to do these videos. I love to speak on stage. I love to be interviewed on podcasts. Oh my God, it's so much fun. I love it. If you have a podcast and you're looking for someone to interview about fear or personal development, please reach out to me because I'd love to be on your podcast. Okay, so I would, in that instance, my drilling down of my 7 levels of why, you keep asking why, actually comes to, because when I was a child, kids were better seen than heard. We weren't allowed to speak. Then when I married my first husband used to say, "You're so stupid and ignorant. People are only nice to you because they feel sorry for you." And it stifled my voice because of those words that I heard. They stifled my voice. So once I discovered that I have value, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to start speaking. I need to start sharing the value that I do have. Now, not everything I say is valuable, and that's okay, but at least I'm sharing it, and I'm not scared to share it. I used to have fear of judgment. What would people think of me? Are they going to catch on? Are they going to see that I'm stupid and I'm ignorant? Are they only going to be nice to me because they feel sorry for me? Those were the questions that I had going through my head before I discovered that I do have value. So that's one of the reasons why I do all these videos, why I get on stage as often as possible, why I love performing, because I was stifled for so many years. And now that I discovered why I'm here, like, and what I'm doing and what value I have to offer, I realize that I need to share that as often as possible. So that's another example. So, here was another one for me. Like, I'm just kind of sharing some of the ones that I went through of my whys. And I'm going to share with you like the drill down and what you need to drill down on, because this exercise took me 2 weeks. I literally spent 2 entire weeks just drilling down on my why. And so the questions I kept asking myself is, why do I do this? So for example, I would say, why do I love putting on events? And I would say, I love putting on, I'm just going to throw out some examples because I can't remember, like, I don't have my notes of all the drill downs I did. But for example, I love putting on events because I love bringing people together. Well, why do you love I'm asking myself these questions, by the way. Why do you love bringing people together? Because when I bring people together, they get to meet each other and they get to form bonds, and I have the opportunity to introduce them to each other. Well, why do you like doing that? Or why is that important that you do that? Well, because I want to be a person who is able to have people share with each other and, share their brilliance and share who they are. Well, why is that so important? Well, I could drill down. But when I finally get to the bottom of it, because when I was a child, I was stifled. When I was a child, I was scared to speak out. When I was a child, I was scared to bring people together. And now I realize that that's one of my gifts and that's something I'm really good at. And so I love doing it. And so I do it as often as possible. So that's like kind of an example of a drilling down of the why. So what you do then is you take all the things you do. If you're like me and you love to do a whole bunch of things, say, I love to do a bunch of things, just say, I love stuff. I love doing stuff. I don't know. Just say something, or call yourself, like I do, a chameleonpreneur. Now, I love doing a lot of things. And because of that, I took every single thing I love doing. Why do I love speaking on stage? Why do I love performing in front of an audience? Why do I love doing videos? Why do I love spending time with friends? Why do I don't really love doing that, but why do I, go to networking events? Why do I love it? I don't really love it, but why do I do it? So why you do what you do. So make your list of all the things you do. I had a list of about 20 or 30 things. I mean, it's crazy, big list. So I had that whole entire list, and I asked myself, I did the drill down of why for every single thing I love doing. Why do I love going to the beach? Why do I love spending time with my dogs? Why do I love spending time with my husband? I asked myself all those questions. Why? And almost everything. I would say probably like 80% of all the answers drilled down to that one moment that I was with my sister on that bed, huddling her and protecting her. Just about every single thing drilled down to that one moment. So when I looked at that, I said, oh my gosh, my purpose here is to protect people. My purpose here is to protect people. But maybe my form of protection is not by protecting them from others, but it's protecting them from themselves, protecting them from the fears they've caused on themselves, from the way they've stopped themselves from growing, the way they've stopped themselves from sharing with other people, the way they've stopped, changing other people's lives. Maybe that's my purpose. Whatever it is, I have to live in that purpose. I do know that I have an ability to help people break through their fears and to do the things that they're scared to do. I do know that I have that ability. That's one of the gifts I've been giving. So I use that gift to do my work. It's absolutely incredible once you discover your why. Because before then, I was just kind of like, flailing all over the place, doing whatever, whenever. I had no idea why I was doing anything. But now I know why. And so I can do it. I can do intentionally do the things that I do. So here is an example of, let me see. Wait, never mind. Not an example. Okay, so next, here's what I want you to do. This is the exercise you're going to go through, okay? This is the exercise you're going to go through. You're going to make a list of all the things that you love doing, all the things you love doing. And hopefully this exercise will lead you to living a life that's happier for you as well, as long as you go ahead and move into action on the things that you do. So first, I want you to make that list of all the things you love doing. And then I want you to ask yourself, why do I love doing that thing? Whatever it is. Why do I love this? And then whatever your answer is, ask yourself why again. You can also sometimes say, well, why is this important to me? Why is this important that this is part of my life? You don't know what your why is going to go down to until you start doing this exercise. But the why will give you the answers as to what you should be doing. And then the what will give you the answers as to how you will do it. Sometimes we get so stuck on that how. Well, how am I going to do that? Instead of allowing yourself to get stuck on the how, figure out your why. Because once you figure out your why, you can start living on purpose. And when you're living on purpose, the how and the what will come. They will come. Trust me. As long as you're open to hearing them. Sometimes the vessel that's delivered to us isn't the vessel that we want. And because it's not the vessel that we want, we resist it. But the thing is that that's the vessel you're supposed to take. And there's a reason for it. It's put into your life for a certain reason. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself, why do I do what I do? So let's say you have a business and maybe you're doing, let's just say you're doing skincare. Like I know a lot of people who sell Rodan and Fields. Okay, so let's say you're someone who sells Rodan and Fields. Why are you selling Rodan and Fields? Is there something to do with skincare? Did you have really bad acne and were made fun of when you were a child? Do you have maybe really, really dry skin that causes pain and itching or something like that? You know, there's usually a reason why we do what we do. So it's figuring out that why, because when you know that why, you can share that story with others. You can share that, oh my God, when I was younger, I had really, really bad acne. This isn't me. I'm just sharing some thoughts. So, when I was really young, I had a lot of acne, and then I, discovered this product and it got rid of my acne. Just as an example, I don't know what Rodan and Fields does, but if they do that, awesome. And then yay. I don't know if they do help you with your acne, but just really ask yourself why you do what you do. And then, so now we go down to the figuring out why you do what you do. And then you can live your life on purpose, whatever it is. And it's so cool. Now mine, like I said, most of mine, about 80 to 85% of everything I did, drilled down to that one very moment, holding my sister. Now yours might do the same. Maybe all yours will drill down to the same thing. What's cool is that I discovered this because when I was doing the 7 levels of why, I watched this video of this man talking about the 7 levels of why. And he didn't really ask us to do on different levels. And I was sitting there thinking, but I have so many things I do. How can I possibly narrow that down into one thing? And so that's when I realized that I needed to actually drill down on every single thing I did, because I need to figure out why I did everything. Because there's some things that I do or was doing at the time that were wasting my time. And I had to figure out, why am I doing those things? Why do I love doing that so much? So, for example, I became an editor of a magazine, and doing the editing of the magazine, why did I love doing that so much? Well, because I love being part of a huge project of something that's much bigger. But why was that important? Because when I was younger, I always felt like I wasn't part of the team. I always felt like the outcast. I always felt like the person sitting on the sidelines. When I was younger, I always sat in the back of the room. I never raised my hand. I was too scared to raise my hand, because what if somebody saw that I was stupid? That's how my life was. So once I discovered the value that I have, that's when I could start living my life on purpose and doing the things that I'm doing now. This didn't come natural for me. This did not come natural for me. And it's so funny because people are like, oh, you're such a natural on camera. Hello, I am not a natural on camera. What happened is I've done 3,700 videos. So I became a natural on camera. There's a lot of hours, lots of hours and practice and, messing up and saying the wrong things and doing the wrong things, having the wrong lighting, having the wrong audio, like having all these things wrong that I was able to fix. But, after 3,700 videos, I should seem like I look natural, right? Because anytime you do anything for that length of time, it should become a natural, comfortable thing for you. So if you try this exercise, doing your 7 levels of why, and you find yourself struggling, you're having a hard time figuring out like why, what is your why? I want you to get out of your head and I want you to go into your heart. I want you to really, this exercise, if done properly, will probably have you crying in deep sobbing tears because the pain from what you experienced as a child was so strong. That pain was so strong, and that's what's got you doing what you're doing today. That's what's got you doing what you're doing today. So it should, I shouldn't say should, I take that back, please forgive me for that. But it's possible that it's going to take you into a very deep, painful space in your life. But that's okay. You need to feel that. You need to experience that. Because when you can feel and experience that, you're going to be able to discover your purpose here on earth, why you are here. And then you can discover how you're going to help others come out of that dark and into the light that you're in now. It's such a beautiful, beautiful experience. But if you find yourself struggling, let me go here. If you find yourself struggling with this exercise and you want someone to help you with it, I'm here for you. Let's hop on a quick call. Go to livinglive.tv/30, number 30. Go there and set up an appointment with me. We have 30 minutes and we can drill down on a little bit of your why. I might be able to actually help you during that time figure out your why. I can't guarantee it because only you can discover that. I can only ask you the right questions at the right time and the right path to hopefully get you down there, but you're the one who will guide the path. That's what's really interesting about this exercise is somebody can try to guide you down that path, but no one can guide you down that path. They can just ask you the questions and maybe you'll hear the questions in a different way. So let's hop on a call, livinglive.tv/30, and I will see you there. So we have no comments. Awesome. Okay, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I shall see you soon. Again, go to livinglive.tv/30. This is Linda West with Living Live, helping you discover your why you're here on earth so that you can live the life that you're meant to live. If you're ready to raise your hand and say, I'm ready to be visible, I want you to go ahead and say, I'm ready to be visible in the comments below. And let's reach out to each other and have a great day. Bye-bye now.